Hey guys, so we've just finished making our squares, so now I need to show you the next step of the process, which I don't think we've done very much, and that's when we go to the arrow next up here. So you will have done this if you made the peg, but if you're starting with this and you haven't, so you go to assembly up in the top left, and as you know, I've been having a bit of computer trouble when I'm making all these videos, so it's going to take a little while for this to open up. As you can see by up here in the tools that I've got to use, it's actually quite different to the other ones that we've been doing. So we're over here, and we're going to go to the little arrow under here, and we're going to go place. So instead of place iLogic component, we're going to go place, and that way it'll show us. We're going to have to find find the file that we've been using. So I actually have been using my hard drive, so I'm just going to find it in that. And here we go. And we've got our pyramid game in here. So we've got all these different parts. So I start off this with the base and the pins. So opening the base first. Generally because it's the biggest bit. And we'll click that there. After it brings it in from my hard drive. So you see there. And if I wanted to, I could actually, as you can see, I could actually make more than one. And so that's why I'm going to make one pin and stuff like that. Because I can click 3 times to make 3 of them. So I'm going to right click and go OK. Next thing I want to do with this particular part is go to origin here. So you can see I've got different planes that I can use. So say if I use the XZ plane, I can then constrain that for this to be flat to that. So now that's flat to that, and if I go apply, that's done. Last one I'm going to do is constrain this, and I'm actually going to constrain it to the end and go apply. So now if I put this here, you can see that it's exactly in line with all of the planes that we've been working with previously. So that's the advantage of that, and that's what the advantage of putting in, say, a base first. So that's all done there. Now I need to place some more components. So now that I've placed the first one, I get this icon here, and I can just continuously press on that, and it'll bring up my root file that I've been getting my parts from. So now if I go pyramid pins and go open, I've got one there. So I'm actually going to move this a little bit. 1, 2, 3. And I purposely didn't really try then too hard to line these up with the holes. So you can see there, they're not even really that close. So I can move that all the way out there and it doesn't actually matter. So the big part about this is that you use the constrain tool to make everything fit together. So I go to constrain up here in the top left, and then I can click on all my parts. So I want the center of this to be aligned with the center of this. And so you can see this. If I go apply and then cancel, you can see it'll continuously move only in that spot, but it is constrained to there. So I'm just going to move out a little bit, and we're going to constrain the rest of these in that way. But sometimes you are going to have to zoom in, apply, and then we'll do the last one, apply. So then last thing we're going to do is move these through to the bottom. So I'm moving the pins through so they are sticking out of the bottom there. And the reason I'm doing that is, and I'll show you now, so I can constrain the bottom so they're aligned together. So if I go constrain now, I can click on this bottom base section around the edge, and then click on that edge, and then once I press apply, you can see that it's perfectly flat with the bottom, and that's just like the drawing we've been going off. So then we'll do that one as well, and we'll go apply, and then the very last one, and then go okay. So that's all done. So those are fully constrained in there, and they won't move. So that's really good. So you see there, I'm trying to pull on it, and it won't let me move. Okay. Now, last things we need to do is actually bring in all of our squares. So go place. And we'll start with the biggest one first, open, and we'll put that there. Now I could put them all in and then try constraining, but they're all just going to get in each other's way and stuff like that. So I find it really easy to constrain them one at a time, and that way I can keep bringing them in and know they're not going to move around on me. So I'm going to go constrain. We want that aligned with that, and we want put this on a bit of an angle. We want to apply that, and we'll constrain that with that. Apply. So you saw that there, that just slid straight down that post, so we constrained it so it was on it, and then we constrain that edge so it's nice and flat. Next thing, so let's bring in the next one. and we're going to bring the 55mm one next and place that there. So you might be noticing as well, as I'm placing these, I'm really lucky because I always use the top plane, and so they're all getting in perfectly, aren't they? So that's a really beneficial thing for me. Whoops, sorry, I pressed on the wrong thing. I meant to press constrain. So now we're going to constrain that one with that one and go apply. And then the last thing we're going to do, so you see how it's lifted up? I can actually go on a bit of an angle here and select that flat edge. Whoa, and this flat edge. Done. So we're going to do that for the next ones. And place. So I've done 55, let's do 45. This does take a little while. That's kind of why I could just do those two and then say, alright, and continue doing that. But I just want to show you guys that it does actually take a little while. It's not an instantaneous thing. So apply that. We can also, so you see how that's still sticking up a little bit too high there. Whoops, sorry, I need to zoom out a little bit. We'll spin that around. So you see that's still sticking up. I'm going to show you one other way that we can do this. It's also quite easy. So I can constrain that to that edge. Apply. That way we don't have to flip it around so much and we get the same result as before. And we'll quickly do the last two. Place. And then we're going to do 35. Open. Put it there. Constrain that center with that center. Apply. You always need to make sure you press apply or else it won't work for you. Apply, and then we're going to do the last one, place. You can see while this does take a little while, and it was quite kind of risky for me with my computer acting the way it's been tonight, I'm still doing them one at a time just so they don't get in each other's way. So we're going to constrain this one more time, that one to there, apply, and then that one to there, apply. Ooh, I did the wrong thing then. So you see then, so what happened there and what it didn't like, I tried to constrain that to that. And I've already constrained the center of this to the center of that. So it won't work, so I can constrain that to that though. Apply, and that's done. So I was trying to tear that apart and make it stretch all over there, but naturally the computer won't let me. And there we go, so you can see there, we've got our fully completed pyramid game. So that's a 7-minute video, so we might leave it at that for now, and then I'll show you how to do a presentation view next.